My name's Sean Donegan. I'm the center manager here at the OIP in Good Hope on Good Hope Road in Enola, Pennsylvania. I'm here with Christian, and we are going to show you guys a couple good stretches that you can do at your office chair to prevent stiffness, help work on posture, and improve things of those nature to reduce pain. The first exercise is called a scapular retraction. So you want to start by sitting in a good posture. Hands are just in a relaxed position on the armrest or your legs, and you want to pinch your shoulder blades together. He's holding for about 5 to 10 seconds. You can see his shoulders are going back. He's not arching up or anything, just to prevent that forward rounded shoulder posture that we do quite frequently with a computer in front of us. Typically, doing about 2 sets of 10 of these is enough. Every couple hours is great to prevent stiffness. There will be an attached PDF that outlines a lot more details with all the exercises as well. The next stretch that we're going to show you is a posterior capsule stretch for the shoulder. So you kind of hook your one arm underneath. So in this scenario, he's stretching his right arm. He hooks his left arm underneath and grabs and pulls his elbow across his body. He's going to feel a big stretch on the outside of the shoulder. Now we switch to the left. Hold the stretch for about 10 seconds, and you can alternate back and forth. Perfect. The next exercise is a thoracic rotation. We call it a thread the needle. So again, sitting in the chair, sit a little bit more towards the front of the chair. You're going to bend down with your arms sort of in a prayer position, and then you are going to look at your top hand and rotate up. This is something you're going to want to do on both sides as well. You do not have to hold it for any length of time, just going through the motion. This is going to target the thoracic spine, right in between the shoulder blades, an area that we see a lot of stiffness, especially with people who work in sedentary jobs requiring a lot of sitting, computer work, reception work, things of that nature. The next stretch is a seated hamstring stretch. So again, sitting near the edge of your chair, you're going to put your heel on the ground, your toes will be up. Keeping that knee straight, you want to bend forward, and you're going to feel a big stretch behind the back of the leg in the upper thigh here. Common mistakes we see with this one, the back starts to arch a little bit or the knee starts to bend. Just make sure you're keeping a very good neutral back and making sure your knee is not bending. Otherwise, you're not getting the maximum benefit out of the stretch. Alternating sides and typically holding stretches again. It's all outlined on the PDF, but for about 10 seconds. And I would cycle between 2 sets of 10 on both legs. The next exercise is a little tougher to see on video. It's a really good stress relieving exercise. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. So I always tell patients to put your hand on your stomach, hand on your chest, just like he is. And as you breathe in, your bottom hand is actually going to push out. And that's activating the diaphragm. And then as you breathe out, your bottom hand relaxes. Okay? So you don't want to feel like you're chest breathing. You want this top hand to stay relatively still, and you want your bottom hand to push out. This is a great way to activate part of our brain, part of the nervous system that's going to calm things down. So during high stress activities, the nice thing about this, it can be done sitting in an office chair as well whenever you are feeling particularly stressed. The next stretch is going to be the piriformis stretch, and that is because the muscle that we sit on is the piriformis, so it can cause a lot of problems down there. The side that he's stretching is the right side in this scenario. So you hook the right foot over the left knee, pull the right knee towards your left shoulder, and you'll feel a stretch kind of right where you sit, pretty much. This is, again, something that you would do bilaterally, meaning on both sides, and you would hold for 10 seconds, and doing 2 sets of 10. The next version of the stretch is another kind of modification, is pushing down on the knee. So you can also kind of combine the two if you would like. Pulling up to stretch kind of more into the buttock, pushing down to stretch more of the front of the hip. People that sit a lot with work, the hip flexors are muscles that tend to get very tight, and this is a great way to stretch them out when you're pushing the knee down. So feel free to kind of cycle back and forth, holding each position for about 10 seconds. So all of those stretches can be done sitting in a chair, okay? But there's one really good stretch that we're gonna show you guys standing here in front of the doorway, okay? And this is gonna help stretch out the pec muscles, which tend to also be very tight because we are sitting with the computers in front of us. If you don't have the wide enough wingspan to reach both sides, we will show you how you can modify it, but ideally you're gonna put your arms on both sides of the door and just lean forward. You're gonna feel a big stretch right across the front of the pec muscle on both sides, and that's gonna be a stretch that you hold for 10 seconds, cycling through 10 times. If it's too painful, too uncomfortable, or you don't feel like you can reach both doorways, you can put your arms down by the side just like he was doing and lean. That's a little bit less tension, or you can just use one side of the door frame and do both arms individually. Same thing, holding the stretch for 10 seconds, but in this scenario, you would just have to switch and do the other side. Perfect. So those are all the stretches that we recommend doing. If you guys can set reminders on your phone, that's a great thing to do. Every 2 hours or so, I know we can get bogged down with work and we can forget about movement. So making sure we're staying active, staying mobile, little bits often is very important when it comes to preventing stiffness and reducing pain. One other really cool thing that you guys can do in your office chairs is use lumbar rolls. So we have one right here. It's just a small little cushion, okay? A lot of these nice office chairs also have lumbar support, so you can just push them out. But if you don't have that, you can take the lumbar roll, hook it over the chair. You wanna make sure this is kind of right here in the curve of the lower back, the small of the back. And then you wanna sit your body all the way back into the chair, okay? What that's gonna do is if you try to slouch, it's going to act as a block, so that way your posture cannot go into a bad posture. Those are both great little hacks that you guys can do to keep yourselves moving and prevent any postural related pains and stiffnesses in the future.